Maple Leafs are bums. Bums. The core four. Four top 20 players. Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, Michael Nylander, John Tavares, who used to be a Panther killer. These are incredibly skilled players, and you would not know that if you were watching hockey for the first time like many in South Florida are. You would not know it. Would not know it. Hey, have you ever heard of those guys?
I have no idea who they are. 1. 2, I watched my first Panther game yesterday all season. Very exciting game.
Oh, it's two Miamis. It's definitely two Miamis because Izzy's here, by the way.
Hey, Izzy.
Hey, Izzy.
Oh,
Hey.
that is
Zaslow's still
a
here.
very bright shirt.
Yeah, I'm going from here to the Heat game tonight, so I wasn't going to drive all the way back home.
Why aren't you wearing white?
And I'm wearing white pants. Is that
He's wearing a white. Look, the
No,
hearts
that's
are
not
white.
white.
Are those hearts? Yeah, they're white.
No, that's
White
not white.
pants.
No, I'm wearing white. I am white hot.
Yeah.
You are not white hot,
I'm an
sir.
objective journalist, sort
You
of,
are.
but,
Those are pastels.
Mike,
Pastels are back.
Mike, not a lot of people can make the white pants work. I mean,
Yeah? Give us a little spin.
Izzy makes the white pants work.
me see.
Are they white or are they
Don't-
cream?
don't
Izzy? Are they a
objectify
cream?
him.
Oh, I think that's more of a bone.
Don't
Yeah,
objectify.
That's
More
more
like
of
a
a
sail.
bone.
It's more like a sail color.
That's bone.
No, what do you mean?
That's good. White pants you can't get away with. Welcome, Izzy. Zaslow, thanks
you.
for sticking around.
Yeah.
I don't think the national audience wants more Maple Leafs Panthers talk.
Oh, I think there's a little more left on the bone there. I think I got into you talked about two Miamis. I got into my first hockey group chat with Mike and the boys yesterday. I was very excited. Very different from the basketball chat.
How much
Very
does
different.
Whitty suck in that chat?
I mean-
Whitty sucks.
It's hard to figure out what was going on in between all the cat gifs, but I did also listen, thanks to you, Mike, to the beginning of that Toronto Maple Leafs, whatever that is. Is that a
You guys got 3 listeners. It's
Podcast?
Mike, Izzy, and one other
Yeah.
person. Like, what?
Yeah,
I just-
you know the whole podcast? Boy, Matthews was sorry.
Right. I thought Canadian
Mortal
fans were
sorry.
above that. Like, they went, right off the bat, went with tight buttholes and went with, hair on fire.
Yeah.
Like, that was their big analysis. And I'm like, I thought they were above this up in Canada, but they're the same exact fans.
No, the only thing they're above is geographically. They're above us, but that's the only thing they're above.
Their fandom is more passionate than South Florida's, where we're disconnected.
No. There's just
Yeah,
it's what Zaz said. It's what
there's
Zaz
just
said.
more of
There's
them.
just more of them.
They don't care about
No.
the Leafs more than I
No,
care
but
about the
South
Panthers.
Florida's
Look,
divided.
he's wearing a jersey.
South Florida's
I'm an adult.
divided. You're wearing a jersey. Tony and his family don't care about the Panthers.
That was 3 uniforms ago.
But Tony,
the jersey he's
Tony
wearing.
Tony just said he watched his first hockey game yesterday.
Yeah, it was exciting. The season, I mean, it's obviously been a huge success. I watched it, and at the end, I saw everybody there. Do they play at Scotiabank 2?
Scotiabank Center they play.
Yeah, like 2 isn't also. So they have the Jurassic Park thing where all the people are, and I looked at it, I was like, idiots. We don't even
Losers.
care- We don't even care about the
They're
team.
dumb.
The best moment was when the game ended and they put the camera on all of them just looking so stupid.
Yeah, sorry.
Tony, did you experience your first hockey? Did you watch the game and just be like, that's got to be a penalty of some sort, right? There's so much stuff going on, and it just doesn't feel like it's legal.
Oh,
but
they're
it all
definitely
is.
goosing those sticks over there, right?
Yeah, for sure. Listen, I was at
I was watching that. I'm like, these hosters are goosing these sticks.
Absolutely. That's the first thing I thought, actually. Funny that we thought the same thing. I went to a Panther game this season, Panthers versus the Minnesota Wild, at some point in January. I don't remember. But then I watched the game for the
Woof.
first time on TV.
You didn't do that, Jeremy. Jeremy,
man.
get out of
Jeremy,
here.
yeah, he
Go
did.
sit in the penalty box,
Give him- give him-
Jeremy.
give him.
I'm looking for the horns.
The game is exciting on TV, more so than... is it on Bally? I don't get Bally. I'm a cord cutter, so I don't have
we're
Bally,
watching
so-
Biz. That was
no,
on TNT.
I get
Man,
that.
I'm so happy TNT has a Stanley Cup. TNT, it's not the gulf that there is
It's a good
between
show, though.
The studio
basketball.
shows are good.
Man,
It's a
I
good show.
love Biz. Ever since he was putting cocks in blenders, I'm like, that's my guy.
Are we in the local hour?
No,
Not
it is Big
anymore.
Suey now.
But Mike is out of control. Mike's power hungry. He's been making deals all over South Florida, and he just foisted Zaslow. You could check out Zaslow's podcast wherever it is you get your podcast. He just foisted them on the national audience. He told me I'm making an executive decision.
Yeah. Zaz, you
Thanks,
can say
man.
however long you want.
Thanks, man.
And that just goes beyond today.
Oh, wow.
You can
okay.
stay forever. If
It's
you'd
tough
like.
getting down here to Miami, but I enjoy myself when I'm here. Thank
I
you.
enjoy you too.
Thank you.
Please never leave.
Thank you.
Does
Hey, is
anybody
he-
else get... There's the color guy for TNT, TBS. Do we know his name? I don't know his name off the top of my head.
This guy, my guy.
Right.
For which
Tony's guy.
sport?
Are you talking about in the studio?
Which sport?
No,
Which sport?
the
Tony,
ice, the hockey. The
Tony,
hockey.
Are we
what
talking
is
about
that?
Panger?
What is that?
Is that his name? I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
his name.
Bald?
That's it.
Is it
I
Bald?
only know his voice.
Panger.
Darren Pang. It was
Okay.
Darren Pang last night.
Tell me
Panger.
if you don't
My
hear every
guy.
time you hear his name, Tony's guy, I hear Mark Hockman doing a Canadian accent. That's all I hear.
Wow,
every single time.
So you were asking if we were in the local hour. We
So
said
that
no, and then you went with a very inside reference.
Because
Cool.
you know what? I feel like the Big Suey is just kind of like the next step up from the local hour. It's kind of like the Florida hour.
All of it is.
There you go. See? We're all
The
gonna talk
local
Jimmy
hour
Butler
is
today.
still my favorite hour. It's always been my favorite.
Well, you
hour.
know what? That's because it goes first. And we have great energy and we're talking about things that we like. So we always feel best about it because it's very self-involved. If you listen to that local hour, you are listening to very arrogant people, super conceited, full of themselves.
Speaking of which, Jess mentioned to me that you guys don't have makeup people here, which I was very concerned
Yet.
about. Very harsh
Yet.
lighting in
I
here.
said last week we got to get some makeup.
I got some
people in
foundation for
here.
your T-zone.
Yeah, Mike does his
You
own
are
makeup.
shiny.
I'm super shiny,
don't
and
need
I
it.
also have like a scar I've been trying to hide for
I don't
2 years
need it.
under
Would you
my
say you're more
eye.
of a caramel or a mocha?
Zaslow just said I don't need it,
not
and
necessary.
Izzy here, who's beautiful in every way, is over here already making demands of Meadowlark Media. He's been here 4 minutes.
Do you have a color called glazed donut? Because that's what I've been told. Like a Krispy Kreme glazed donut right out of the oven is kind
So
of what my
I
color
think this
is.
one right here is.
Mike has like multiple of these.
This is
by the
more.
way.
This is warmer in tone. I think this was. I'm gonna give this one to you.
Why don't you make it? Why don't you talk with Izzy about Bad Bunny? Like, why don't
Did you watch Bad Bunny?
No, was he at
You know
F1?
Bad Bunny is 6'1".
No, he wasn't
I
at
did
F1.
not
He was
know
wrestling
that.
in a
He was
street
wrestling
fight.
in the
In a
same one
street
street fight
fight.
against
Listen,
Damian
adults.
Priest.
It's the one part of Bad Bunny I'm not in on. Is his
What?
wrestling,
The best part?
You had the best part.
Zaslow, you got to get out of here
He,
for that one.
he should honestly. They should make him world champion.
Get him out of here.
Why
should-
do I have to get Zaslow out of
The
here?
best
What?
part of Bad Bunny is his wrestling.
Have you
Please,
seen him?
please, brother.
Have you seen him perform?
When you consider the lack of experience compared to what he's doing out there,
Zaz, he's the biggest artist on the planet, and he has been for the last 3 years.
he's been working on that art for many, many years. He has been a WWE wrestler for very little time. Ratio it.
There is something about that confidence that is extraordinary, right? To dominate. I mean, it's one thing to dominate music, but to go into wrestling and just be McAfee, where you got charisma and you're good at it, and no one is looking at anything you're doing and saying that's contrived.
And you're over. Do you know how hard it
And it's an audience that didn't want to like him.
didn't want to like him at all. They felt like they were being forced Bad Bunny because, look, credit to him, his English has gotten so much better over the last few years, but there was a language barrier, and people that were wrestling fans didn't really have a connection point. Why are they making this guy in a WrestleMania match?
know why now.
And now they got so lucky he likes wrestling because he's the biggest entertainer on the planet, and did you see that photo of his back? He's got welts all over his back.
Because he was in a street fight.
sacrificed his body.
So if you actually listen to the music, he has wrestling like things throughout his musical
No, he has a
catalog.
song called Booker T. I know,
Exactly.
Who are you talking
I'm not
to?
talking to you,
Who are
Mike.
you
I'm talking to Zaslow.
He knows
know
Bad Bunny.
this.
He's a huge Bad Bunny.
About Bad
What-
Bunny.
I
no.
love Bad Bunny.
Most of my Spanish that I speak now is strictly off of Bad Bunny songs. Like, my Spanish has been deteriorating since I was a kid.
No.
It would only improve whenever my grandparents would come around. My grandparents no longer around, therefore my Spanish sucks. But get me around some Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you can, I can just spit out some random lyrics while you guys are talking. It won't make any sense, but I'll sound like the most Hispanic
Same.
person in the planet.
Same. I'm just walking through my house and going, "Aringa king king."
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means. I don't
Dice
think it means
papi,
anything.
mama,
It doesn't
mama,
Aringa
mama,
king
dice
king.
papi. Which, by the way, you guys were looking for a club song. How? You guys were on the beach. You have a Bad Bunny expert over here. How do you not go with Después de la Playa? Because
100%,
after
one of the
you
greatest
leave the
songs of all
beach, what
time.
are you going to do? And you can just go with the intro and say, hey, dime, vamos pa'l mambo, no vamos pa'l mambo. Tú me dices, papi. And then we have papi say, Zumba. And then you just start dancing. It's perfect.
I wonder what he said.
Why didn't we do that?
A little expensive. then.
Why does he sound? Why does he sound like that? There's just marbles in his mouth the entire time.
How local are we going here? Izzy goes way back on Heat Knicks, and he is a basketball expert. And when I watch that series, it's only 2-1, and who knows? I suppose, basketball can be predictable, and if this were predictable,
8 hours away from 3-1.
the Knicks as the 4 seed would win and make it 2-2. But it seems obvious in only 3 games. oh, if Mitchell Robinson's going to look like that, and if Brunson and Hart is what you're going at them with, and you're going to count on an inconsistent Randolph, your team's not good enough.
And what's the weather like today? What's the weather?
Yeah. Is it humid
Yeah.
A
out
little
there?
muggy. It's a little muggy
what's
outside.
the weather?
You just said
There's a
if
train.
Mitchell Robinson is going to look like that without any sense of irony. Like you said
He was
that
good
as it
against
was a real-
Cleveland. He was
What?
good against Cleveland.
So what? He's Mitchell Robinson.
The Cleveland front
What
line.
are you-
The Cleveland front line was impressive.
How can you look at me,
Mike.
with a straight
Mike,
face and
Mo-
say, if Mitchell Robinson plays like that, as if you have expectations for the man, his name is Mitchell Robinson.
You know what's crazy to me? Jimmy Butler has made me just sort of rethink everything about the playoffs, everything about playoff basketball. Like, you ask people right now, hey, who is the best performer in the playoffs so far? A lot of people are going to say Devin Booker. Guys, lighten it up, right?
I'll take your word for it.
Let me see an entire game where Jimmy Butler is being defended by Kentavious Caldwell-Pope or Jamal Murray or any of them. He will send them out of there the same way he did to Drew Holiday, the same way it doesn't matter.
But
who
who else on the defense
Zaz.
is paying attention to anybody else but Butler? You got Durant playing next to Booker.
Well, that's the whole point, right? So he gets that as well. And Zaz, like, you remember games against Philly, dudes sitting here pivoting, trying to get shots against Joel Embiid, not passing it out. If they switch to Joel, he's just going to work him and get his and one. Tell me the big man that he's supposed to... Mitchell Robinson's supposed to be... Brooke
Right?
Lopez he's
Mitchell.
supposed to be afraid of? Get out of here.
Mitchell Robinson.
So Jimmy's been by far the best performer in the playoffs because he's taking on the best defender every single time. That 56-point game, he wasn't hunting Grayson Allen. He wasn't trying to find Pat Connaughton. It was Drew Holiday, I'll line you up. If you happen to give me Chris Middleton, it's going to be an and one. I'm in there. And so they are. But yeah, I think Jimmy's been the best player, and it doesn't matter who's around him even. And we can get into a Bam conversation if Mike wants, but I don't think Mike wants to
Mike
hear
keeps
what I'm
wanting
gonna-
trading.
Trade him.
He keeps trading him. It's annoying.
Well, like, is it really greener on the other side? Are you going to get a guy who's, even if you
Yes.
get Joel Embiid, all right, you want
Yes.
Joel Embiid for
No,
Bam
I'll
straight up.
get a guy that I trust more.
All right.
Come on. I mean,
Let's make this right now. Make it Joel Embiid for
Because
Bam Adebayo
you'll have like a
straight up.
good game 4, and then it'll be like no ceiling, and then you'll have like a game 5 where he disappears for an entire half, and everybody will want to trade him again. It's a whole thing. It's a Bam thing.
You're going to spend
This
every
is
year
who he is.
crossing your fingers, hoping that Joel Embiid is healthy come the playoffs. That's going to be your existence if you have Joel Embiid. If you're going to try to trade him for Damian Lillard, you're going to try to win a different way because
I
you're
would
not
love to
going to
win
have
way.
that big. That's
Can
gonna
we win
do
that way,
everything.
please? I
I
would
don't
love
know.
to win that way.
Spo can win anyway.
I
It
can
doesn't really
I
matter.
can trust. Yeah, that's true. Spo's really good, huh? We should talk about that. He's good. Good coach. He's a good coach. Good coach. Not coach. Good coach.
Go back to that LeBron team, which I've just been sort of getting a lot of information on lately because I'm doing a podcast, and we'll talk about that later.
What is that?
but-
What just happened there?
It was me trying to like self-promote, but we'll get to it later. That season, that 2012 season, where Spo had the Bosch injury and everything else, like he reworked that offense mid-playoffs. They just went small, went a 5-out team, and it's just like Spo can do that. Like Budenholzer can't adjust from game to game. This guy's adjusting all the time.
Spo,
Good coach.
good coach. Good coach. Good coach. Yo, this Clarence Carter's got a potty mouth. That is a very graphic song. How does one stroke it to the east?
It's kind of a natural curve sometimes.
He likes love warm and soft and hot and.
Can you be warm and hot at the same time?
I don't know, but this guy is horny.
Okay.
He is a
horny
horny devil.
I was made uncomfortable by the way that Jeremy was sort of longing for Jimmy Butler, who had the locker room to himself, and
Transition.
what you guys are all saying.
He says he strokes it to the east, strokes it to the west, and then strokes it to the girl that he loves best. He's talking about masturbating. It's very clear. He is talking about cranking his yank
I thought the title
or
gave that
yanking
away.
his crank. Yeah, no, he's yanking
Either
his
works.
crank.
But no, either works. By the way,
tawdry for the times to just be singing that openly about pleasing yourself.
And also, pop stars looked way different in the 80s. Like, how does that... Like, that guy would never get big on TikTok these days. I mean, have you ever watched 80s music videos and been like, who's this for? We're like, Robert Palmer, what's the appeal there? Robert Palmer is like addicted to love, but he's also 43, and he's like a hit pop guy. Everyone's just wearing double-breasted suits because that's what grown-ups wear.
Did you mentioned Jimmy Butler playing music in the locker room. Were you going to the Whitney Houston thing? Because I don't know if it's like just because it's been in my Netflix queue for so long, but like the recently, but the Whitney Houston movie, the biopic, is that relatively new or was it last year?
No, it came out last year.
Okay, have you guys seen it?
No, I haven't. I heard like okay things.
No, it's big. I love it, and it's just so you
They
talk
get into
about,
like her love life, right?
Well, yeah. Well, I didn't really know that they would start off that way, but they basically just give you right off the bat her relationship with her partner, her friend, her best friend, who she'd called her Robin, was it was a woman-woman relationship, and it was more of what I expected from that detail, but more of that. Like the shocking part to me is like I grew up listening to Whitney Houston. Like I'm 10 years old, and I'm thinking saving all my love for you, right? Like I'm thinking this is an experience. Like her voice is so rich and soulful, and she's 20 years old singing that song.
It's crazy.
And when you think, like, go back and listen to it now, and even like her early performances, you can hear the youth in her voice. But like to people who are listening to her, you think, wow, she's really meaning these. She knows these things. She didn't even write her own music. Spoiler alert. She didn't write her own music. So it's like not only did she sound older, but she was singing somebody else's words and painting this picture of somebody that and then you realize later in life what she was actually living and what she was going through. And it's like, man, that is such a different picture than what I expected.
Huey Lewis was 37 around Back to the Future. You don't make 37-year-old pop stars anymore. He looked like everyone's dad. And he was just like the biggest recording artist. He's deaf now? Or getting there.
He can't perform anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't what's the rapper's name who went deaf also? Forgot her name now.
We'll say there. We'll figure it out together.
It's not Lil Kim,
it's
right?
Not Lil Kim. All right, cool. Is it Debrat?
No, it
It's
wasn't
not Debrat?
I saw some pictures of DeBrat this morning, actually.
Was it Foxy Brown?
There it is.
It's Foxy Brown?
It's Foxy Brown.
See, I told you we'd find it.
Also a delicious restaurant in Fort Lauderdale if you ever go. Foxy Brown.
It is.
Izzy, go sit in the penalty box.
Wow. I've been looking for that.
Tie it all together. Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You, also playing in the Heat locker room after the game.
How did we get there talking about Jimmy Butler?
Because he was playing I Will Always Love You while Kyle Lowry. I'm sorry, am I allowed to talk? He sent me
No, you got to go to the
I know he's
penalty
got a thing
box.
about this.
He's got to
Okay.
go, Dan.
Huey Lewis just... Who rolls up the sleeves on a blazer? You're crazy. You're just mad. Like you've gone mental.
Didn't Huey Lewis show off? Didn't he do male frontal nudity in a movie at some point around there?
Hold on, I'm gonna Google Huey Lewis.
Yeah, now
Come on, you just send me away. Been waiting a long time for this one.
what terrible timing by me. Yes, Huey Lewis.
There's a website called Mr. Man, and it gives you. It's basically a search website for nudity.
Only 2 stars on Huey Lewis. Not good.
Yeah.
No, I believe Huey Lewis did frontal nudity.
Yeah, no. In 1993's Shortcuts, terrible movie to have a nude scene in, by the way. The tags are nude, penis, cowboy hat, fishing, hat, outdoors, outside, pee-pee, river, rocks, sand, tent, peeing in water, dead woman, body in water. Yeah, so at 50 minutes and 55 seconds in the movie Shortcuts, Huey Lewis pulls out his penis and pees near a dead girl floating in the water for 32 seconds.
Give me other movie titles that you believe to be worse for a movie in which you've had
Oh,
frontal
that was a
nudity
very graphic pop-up. I just noticed that.
than Shortcuts. Well,
Did you see that?
Well, Mike, what I recall about the frontal nudity is a conversation about Huey
I'm
Lewis.
logged in as Roy, so we're good.
Is there more information to be had, or that's it?
I gave you so much information
I know.
just there.
I know.
It was 32 seconds of his pee-pee being out. I mean, how much more information could you possibly want?
Zaslow,
Cowboy hat was a tag.
Mike Ryan doesn't have time to be. He only has so much bandwidth, so he's not even watching this wonderful Suns Denver series where there are great players all over the place.
He didn't know that the biggest story in the league took place in that game.
Well,
last
he didn't
night.
know, and so let me. And we haven't talked about it
No,
yet.
I still have no idea what happened.
No, but Mike, Jokic comes over to the sidelines. He scores 53. He's totally unstoppable. He's a ridiculous basketball
He scored
player.
how many?
53.
Whoa, he's good.
No, and super efficient. Like
Was
20,
he bleeding?
20 of 30, yes. Both arms were very pink and red.
Yeah, because I got
and
like
raw.
notifications that people were retweeting that.
So he goes into the stands, and this the new owner for the Suns, the guy who's going to change the league.
He went into the stands?
Well, no, just the first
ball. It was a loose
just
ball.
a loose ball,
okay.
first row. No, first row. Is it Ishbia? Is that that's the owner's name? He wants attention. He's doing things differently. He's the hotshot owner. He's bothering the other owners. He came in and got Durant. The Heat could have had Durant, and then he's holding on to the ball. And he's holding it as Jokic wants it, and then
he could play. You need the ball to play.
And Jokic gives him a chicken wing.
Who does this guy think he is? The owner?
Jokic hits him with an elbow, and he flops like an enormous flop.
He flopped,
and he got
an owner flop.
He got his team a point. He got his team a technical foul shot. He is telling all of his friends today, I'm +1 for the playoffs.
And who won the game?
Phoenix, Denver. Phoenix won the game.
Oh, so what is that? 2-2 now?
Yeah.
Was it a good? Close game?
It's a great
It was
game.
an excellent game.
Everyone's going to be talking about that's not. He would have never gotten that technical foul if he had done that with anyone other than the owner.
Is
But
he
the
gonna be
conversation,
suspended?
well, that's the conversation now today, is the league's going to look at it. They're going to possibly, he gave a forearm, and he looked at him before he knew what he was doing. He's claiming he didn't know that he was the owner. There's no way he didn't know. He gave him a look, turned away, then gave him a forearm. Owner flops, fan thrown out, not the owner, other fan thrown out, technical foul. Conversation's going to be had about Jokic getting suspended.
Matt Ishbia also is on the 2000 Michigan State team that won, so he's a hooper. He knows what he was doing. He knew that he got that forearm in the chest, sell it a little bit extra just in case they toss Jokic out.
He's got that look in his eye.
Pretty disappointed.
Jeremy, you see what's about to happen?
Yeah, I know exactly what it is.
He sees the lane. He's about to go. You ready? Dan?
I'm not going to do it.
Dan, come
No,
on.
I'm not that predictable.
Come on.
I'm
He's
not
gonna
that
do it.
predictable.
What if? Come on. What if? It's
No,
right there. I know you want to do it.
I'm not that
It's right
predictable.
there.
Come
Come
on.
on.
I
Everyone
know,
wants to
I'm
hear
not
it.
gonna
Come
do
on.
it.
What if
Come
you won
on.
the MVP?
No, that's not the what if we're talking about.
know the what if.
You know the one that you want to do right now. Come on. Just do it. Don't disappoint us.
What if he was in the owner's box?
Come on. No, that's not the what if. Everyone knows the what if that Dan wants to do right now. What if? Come on.
What if he got Durant?
No, that's not the what if. Come on.
I saw Isaiah Thomas grabbed him too, had his hands all over him. Why was Isaiah Thomas sitting next to the owner of the team?
You're so close. It's right there for you. Come on. The people that have been listening for a long time.
Heading in the
Come
right
on.
direction.
Come on.
Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he were black?
I cannot.
Is he going to get suspended? Like he can't. They can't suspend him. It wouldn't have been. It would not have been anything. It wouldn't even be a story if the owner hadn't behaved like a baby because he wanted to be in the middle of everything.
Well, but hold on. If it was just they threw a fan out in that altercation, they did throw a fan out. If that wasn't Matt Ishbia,
What color was the fan?
He was white.
Oh,
He seemed Hispanic. Was he Hispanic? I thought he was
that changes everything.
Guanazo. I thought he was.
Phoenix? I don't know.
Well, maybe not. I don't know. He seemed Hispanic. Seemed brown.
True or false? If Adam Silver decides they're going to suspend Jokic, Eastern Promises shows up at Matt Ishbia's door, right?
Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
His brothers are terrifying.
That's a tough spot.
Wait, if which one was black? Jokic?
Yeah.
And his brothers. Oh, I didn't mean it like that.
What? Did you mean it the way black people say it?
What?
Which I think is actually, stronger.
Whose side are you guys on?
I think the fan behavior is insane.
You're my
Why does he have
brother.
the ball? They need the ball to play. Why would he be holding on to the ball and then try to keep it when Jokic wants it? To play. I don't get the
You don't
fan
get
behavior.
It. That's what it is, Zaz. You don't get it. You're not a real hooper, dude. He got the ball, and he said, there's no way that Jokic is going to take this ball from me. He's going to rip off my arm before he gets the ball back. He's going to throw it to the ref directly. Jokic comes in. He says, brother, you're not getting this thing. Jokic outweighs him by 195 pounds probably, rips the ball out of his hand, gives him the forearm.
Well, and then as soon as Jokic got the ball, Ishbia was underneath him as if he was in guarding position. He got up underneath him, and then when the elbow's thrown,
it was not a
and
forearm.
the chicken wing comes in.
It was a Jokic bloody elbow. He got the flop call.
I'm just wildly disappointed that I leave. We're talking about full frontal, and I come back and we're talking about loose balls, and it's not at all what I was hoping for.
I need to explain this because I wanted to say it last segment. I'm like, well, wait a minute. That's gratuitous. It's sophomoric. And I don't know if it's true. But the reason I'm remembering that Huey Lewis had full frontal in a movie after you pointed out that he became a pop star at 37 is because in that scene, Huey Lewis was very proud to be Huey Lewis, as I recall, because he was generously endowed.
All right, I'm going to Google Huey Lewis big on Roy's profile.
I got him.
One more time. Huey Lewis.
How is Roy not here to talk about Panthers hockey? How is
Wow, Panthers hockey.
Dan, where is everybody?
they're still stuck behind the train?
Yeah, no, he's on. Oh, there's a
That
top
can't be
10. Top 10 most legendary, well-endowed rock stars ever.
Rock stars.
Rock stars, yeah.
Yeah.
Huey Lewis is a rock star?
He was listening to the news, man. He did the whole
yeah.
soundtrack to Back to the Future.
You
It's
have
called sports.
You not heard the news?
You ever seen the movie Duets?
You don't know about the heart of rock and roll.
It's still beating. Many are saying. Is it? Yeah, he did have a hit with Gwyneth Paltrow on Duets.
That's right.
I love it when we're cruising together. We used to work at Light FM, and they would play that at least 7 times a day. Anytime I'd go to the bathroom, Brandon Guzio's boogers by the urinal, and it would just be like, I love it when we're cruising together.
That's glory days. I'm sorry he did that to you, Guzio. I'm sorry, but that was how we met Knicks fans.
Hey, I knew it was him because he kept asking, who keeps putting the boogers on the urinal? I'm like, it's you, Guzio. It's got to be you. It's got to be you. Robert Plant had a big crank.
Is that number 10? Are you doing it? Are you doing it in reverse order?
Yeah. Tales from a Groupie says Jay-Z has the biggest bleep you will ever see in your life. Huge, like a 1-liter Pepsi bottle. What do you call those things? A 20-ounce
That's number
bottle.
9?
It's beyond huge. It could block the sun.
That's number 9.
That's yeah. That's the first.
On a level of 1 to John Hamm, what would you place it at?
Oh, John Hamm's got to have like a hammer.
Isn't that the rap on Pete Davidson,
yeah.
too?
Are we really doing
Pete
this?
Davidson,
Sophomore show, Dan.
Tommy Lee. I mean, we all
I
know
thought
that
you were
one.
leaving
That
it
one's
at
obvious.
musicians. Okay, I regret doing any
We
of
all
this.
know that. Oh wow, Tom Jones. What? Yeah, Tom Jones. I use Listerine to make sure everything down there is sterile, like a surgeon before an operation.
I don't want to do this
That's not
anymore.
unusual.
Yeah,
I want to talk about Suns Nuggets.
I just learned this week what side piping is.
Yeah.
It's tremendous basketball, Zaslow.
yeah.
Suns Nuggets.
Someone, like an anonymous source said about Tom Jones, bulge. That was just a quote. Bulge.
Three offensive players for all time in that series. 3 of them.
I think one of the interesting things about it is, when are we going to start saying that, you know what, the Suns team may be a little bit better when Chris Paul isn't slowing things down?
Connie Hamzy said on the Howard Stern show, Connie Hamzy is like the super rock groupie. Been with everyone. And she did not hesitate before being asked, a typical Howard Stern question in 2010, who has the biggest penis? That's, that was the biggest radio show ever. Not like us. We were far more mature than that. Didn't hesitate. She said, Huey Lewis is the biggest. I've always said he's the biggest. So there you go.
Speaking of Howard Stern, I've never listened to one of his shows in my life. Like, not even kidding. When he was on TV, what was that,
Yeah.
right? Late at night, every once in a while, like maybe a segment if it was, something halfway interesting. Never listened to him in my life. Never had a conversation about Howard Stern in an NBA locker room ever. For that guy to say that black players don't say hello to him and make it some sort of racial thing is absolutely insane. They
Well, he's
just don't
hoping
listen to
that's
him.
he's hoping that's why, as opposed to them not knowing who he is.
They don't know who
He'd
he
rather
is.
it be because they're black and he's white.
Yeah.
Not a clue. The
No.
one time I will listen to J.R. Smith is on this subject. He tweeted out he has no idea who Howard Stern is and NBA players don't know. Of course they don't know who he is.
No, the last time the Knicks were relevant, Howard Stern was also super relevant, so he would be there for meaningful games, and he was a part of the pop culture zeitgeist. But now we're about 20 years, and he still cooks. I love Howard Stern. I think
I
he's
don't
a
love
great,
it the way that I used to.
Certainly not. And also, I see old clips. I'm like, wow, I used to listen to this. Even with the most recent thing that got aggregated, people just started posting videos of him in blackface, saying the N-word. I'm just like, holy cow, this show was crazy. Did you know that? Howard Stern, crazy.
You guys are just learning this. He's
That show was
70
very
years old.
raunchy.
He's 70 years old.
Like Clarence Carter.
He was in Miami last week because everybody with F1 was in Miami. He looked really uncomfortable because he hasn't been out during the pandemic for 3 years. And he's trying to take that show, which requires chemistry on the road with a lot of mismatched pieces, and he looked really uncomfortable. But he's 70. How do you expect that to age?
Well, according to Mike, he doesn't want these players to know his past and know who he is because they won't like him and they won't say hi to him. They'll say worse things to him. So to throw yourself out there is just kind of a complete lack of self-awareness to throw that comment out there.
He did like how the referees are the ones who come up and say hello to him.
Right. Wonder why.
New York fans are loud with every playoff. With every playoff victory, they spill into the streets. They're scared going into tonight, correct?
Oh, they were so quiet in this. I mean, look, we smoked them. We were up like 20.
A terrible basketball game, and it's not we.
The Heat were terrible that game and smoked them from
Strus was
start
loose.
to finish.
Strus was.
But it was a terrible basketball game. Like both teams
it.
shot terribly, and Miami won by 20. You pair that with the game Jimmy didn't even play in, where New York is fighting to the death in the last couple
We're
of
better than them.
seconds.
much better.
We. Who's we?
The Heat.
He's
Yeah.
got the championship
We're so much
broadcaster.
better.
A two-time champion.
Yeah, you have
broadcaster,
rings.
man. I got 2 rings.
I was watching that game. See, I made my fan with available to the Heat, even though I was at Qualies and watching Jonas Brothers. I did have an iPhone out there, and I saw that the Strus was loose.
How many songs did they do?
They did 4 songs, and one of them, like one of the Jonas Brothers, didn't show up for one. I guess he just got jealous.
So it's a corporate gig.
That's well done.
It's a corporate gig.
Yeah, and last year Post Malone played for 30 minutes, and it was great. He did a Suey. It was incredible. Hey, he put on a great show. But this one, like I saw Weezy and Yandel. Did I say it right?
No.
Weezy?
Wiesing
Weezy?
y Yandel.
Y Yandel?
We sing? That's
Yeah.
what you do when you have sinusitis?
I didn't know
We
that.
sing?
I didn't
Sometimes.
know that Keith Yandel was a reggaeton star, but he was there.
Mike was
And-
dropping the whitest jokes on Twitter,
Yeah.
like
No,
Winston
I
and
mean,
Yandel. I think in the beginning he said.
I love them.
Venn diagram of
Your
people.
Venn diagram is crazy, by the way. F1, Panthers, Huey Lewis in the news, whoever they are, like it's crazy.
The Venn diagram of people that know who Keith Yandel is and Weezy and Yandel, they love that joke. Just like all 3 of them.
All 5 people in your
Yeah.
hockey group chat.
Did you know that they did that Rakata song?
One of the greatest reggaeton songs of all time.
Rakata. I was like, I know these guys. It was really fun. They were good, but they also only played 4 songs. But Cedric Gervais went on for my boy went on for an hour. Pro's pro.
But you've got
Face didn't move once.
you've got time for the hockey playoffs though, and it's not just Panthers.
Yeah.
You're dying to talk Edmonton
Oh,
Oilers.
Dreisaitl's incredible.
He's got like 14 goals.
Yeah,
right?
he lost. There were back-to-back nights in the Stanley Cup playoffs where individual players scored four goals for their
Yeah.
teams and lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. Dan, you should watch hockey. It's really good.
It's good. It's
Don't
fun.
do it,
It's
Dan.
really fun. You should watch other teams in the league because they're really talented players out there in the league, and they got to market these guys like
Mike,
Draisaitl and Connor
you're-
McDavid.
you want me to watch yet more hockey, not just Panthers hockey. You want me to watch more while you're cutting the heat out of your diet.
Yeah, no, I'm going tonight. Courtside.
You know they're head-to-head on Wednesday.
No, well, there won't be. No, no, they're not.
That's going to be a sweep.
No, what do you mean? No, they're not.
No, they can't. They can't do that.
They are. They're head-to-head on Wednesday.
No, they can't possibly do that again.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
No, that sucks. For real?
Yeah.
I'm going to the Panther game.
Where did you get courtside? How did you get courtside seats? What are you doing? What kind of scene are
My
you?
nightlife partners are going to be out there, and they were like, "Hey, you want to come?" Well, like, yeah, sure.
Zaslow,
Just I don't like
have you
being
not
behind the
noticed
bench.
you've noticed what a
Yeah.
player he's becoming.
Like you're going to
right?
be in the black chairs on the court?
No.
Because
No, that's
I've never
that's
done
going
that.
too far. No. I don't have that kind of money.
No.
You know who
No,
Jalen Brunson
but
is?
I'm like on the
So it's
side
not
of the court.
courtside, Mike.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
not
it's a
courtside.
behind bench. Say what up to Coach D.
My boy.
Dap him up.
You know who Jalen Brunson is?
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's a lefty Tim Hardaway. That's where I've landed with him.
Wow,
Well,
that's a
I don't
great
agree
take.
because Tim Hardaway's money in the playoffs and Brunson's been terrible.
mean,
Oh,
it was
he
a
hasn't
different
been
game.
terrible. He had 30
7 of
yards.
20 last game. Over 5 from 3. That's good in your book.
No. I think all New York Knicks are overrated. I think Julius Randle is a garbage man.
Oh, terrible.
He's a
last game.
bad player.
garbage
Yeah,
man.
he is a garbage man. I am happy whenever Julius Randle is out there. You
Ragdolled
hear
by
me?
Cody
You
Zeller.
won't do about it. Because you're Julius Randle, and you always have been. You stink.
no.
They were saying you were better than Chris
call-
Bosh.
you can't
Yep.
call
You
him
are
a-
I remember
terrible.
that. I
You
remember
remember
Brandon
that?
Tierney
You
said
remember that?
I
When
remember
they
what he
said
did.
Julius Randle was better than Chris
You
Bosh.
can't call
Yep.
him a garbage man.
I remember that.
Yeah, no, he's a garbage
He's
can.
he's an all-star.
You stink.
an
Every
all-star.
time the ball's in your hands, I'm happy.
He's an
You're
all-star.
bad.
He goes
No.
3 for 14. He's on the ground, and Cody Zeller is standing over him. What do you call that?
Come on.
You're just
call
as
that?
happy with him taking a 3 as you would be with Giannis.
You're
taking
Drew Gooden. That's who you are.
Come on.
You're
You
Drew
can't call him a
Gooden
garbage
in
man.
orange
He's an
and
all-star.
blue.
He's
No,
an
no, no.
all-star.
No, you got time squared, pal. You were the looter in the riot.
Watch
You were Drew Gooden. You stink.
He's going to look so good on the end of that bench. Heat up by 16 with like 90 seconds left. He's sitting on
Julius
the bench
Randle.
with the puss on the face. Oh, it's gonna be
Sad
beautiful.
puss. You stink.
Watch.
You always have. I've been on the record about this. You are who you were last year. You're not that guy, pal. I know you try to be the guy. You're not the guy.
Playoffs is different.
Watch
stink.
Jalen Brunson's face when Julius is shooting shots. He is not very happy with what Julius is
Well,
doing.
of course not. You know why? Because Julius Randle's shooting the shot. And that's a good basketball play for everybody but the Knicks.
Who's their best perimeter defender? Like, if you were a New York Knicks
Josh Hart?
coach, it's Josh Hart, right?
Yeah.
And I mean,
Oh, born to
Jimmy
be a
owns
Nick.
him.
Born to be a
Jimmy would
Nick.
own
Josh
him.
Hart.
Yeah.
Born to be
That's
a
right.
Nick.
Julius Randle was 2 of 9 when guarded by Bam, by the way. 2 of 9 in game.
You stink.
This show is obnoxious. It's an obnoxious show.
No. I get I deserve all the crap for what I did with this Heat team against Milwaukee. Didn't think they were going to beat them. I've capitulated. I've
Coward.
apologized. I'm a coward. All that stuff. But then they got into the playoffs against the Knicks. I'm like, oh, good. They stink. The Knicks are terrible. They're not a good team.
Mike
Why
talks
does
like a
anyone
guy
think that
that's
they're good?
never seen Julius Randle in person.
Find me.
No.
I would love to
Mike,
do
Mike,
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 no,
Mike,
Randle, I
no,
know. I saw
Mike,
him at
no,
all.
Mike,
That guy-
Mike, come on,
Find me.
Mike,
I
I
wish you would. I wish you would.
No.